Today, we will be taking a look at Beyond the Wire, a World War I hardcore tactical shooter being developed by Redstone Interactive and published by Off-World Industries, the people behind Squad and Postscriptum. You may have already heard mentions of this game recently, but since then, we have had lots more details released about this game. Straight away, I'm super excited for this game, and hopefully after watching this video, you will have a good understanding on why this game has to be on your radar. This is going to be a long one, so grab a drink, sit back and enjoy. The factions within the game. Currently we have seen focus on the French forces and the German Empire, but we have also seen the British Army and the Americans in the launch trailer. All these factions will be featuring iconic weapons like the Shoshar, the Gewehr 1898 and the Lebel. They will also feature unique faces and models for each soldiers, and you will be able to distinguish who's an officer and a regular soldier through the different type of clothing and the look they have. I hope they expand upon the faces and models we see within the game, but this will be things that come as we progress through the early access, expected to last for a couple of years. Types of systems within Beyond the Wire. We will see gas barrages, smoke, artillery, bayonet charges and a ballistic system, so you will have to adjust your weapon for those longer range engagements. It all sounds like good stuff. There will also be weather effects, so rain, fog and more dry conditions. This won't change throughout the game, so it won't start off sunny and then become rainy. The puddles scattered throughout the map will slow you down, and you can go underwater, and of course if you stay there for too long, this will cause drowning. But let's say your only cover option may be a crater that's full of water and you have to prone submerging yourself in the water to avoid enemy gunfire. You're left with a decision to choose the right moment to get up and make a dash for better cover. If you stay in that water too long, you could drown. It creates this real and present danger to avoid not only other players, but the environment. On top of this, they are looking to expand upon the environmental effects. Muddy uniforms was mentioned in the developer update video as something they were currently testing.
Are we planning on soldiers' appearances getting muddier as time passes?
Yeah, I don't want to say we're gonna do that, but we are experimenting with it. So there's a chance we're gonna be able to add that in.
This would be great if they could implement a system where uniforms get dirty when you're rolling around in mud and water. There will also be 100 players in this game, which is an improvement over Squads and Postscriptum's player count, which only features 80 players. There are plenty of things they want to add within this game, but they want to make sure that the performance is stable. If they can achieve the performance we see in Squad with more players, that's going to be fantastic. That's the one thing that I notice in Hell Let Loose. The optimization isn't quite there as of yet, which can sometimes distract from the experience. Now in terms of game modes and capture zones, it seems as if there has been a focus on visual flag capturing instead of these large open areas. Well, at least for one of the modes, they have tried to make the capture points a flag and much smaller focus zones. The one game mode that they explained was called Assault. One team will attack and the others defend those capture points. So for example, it's not a full trench line you capture, but it could be something more specific like a bunker located inside that trench, or it could be a granary or a chapel, which to me seems a lot more interesting than just getting lots of people into one large area, requiring much more tactics and communication to try and flank and flush the enemy out. From what he mentions, it seems like you will have to capture 2 different objectives for each front line. Then once you capture those, the front line advances forward through the map, like Breakthrough from Battlefield 1. But this is just going off from what I've heard, as I haven't had a chance to actually try the closed alpha as I wasn't invited. If you're watching, just saying, but I'd love to get involved with the closed alpha. This is just one of the game modes. They will get into more detail regarding the other game modes closer to early access, slated for some time this year.
Do we have any plans for any maps or layers just set during nighttime?
One of the next maps will very likely represent at nighttime, and it's going to be dark and it's going to be dangerous, and it's going to be in a forest.
Night maps have been confirmed. The next map that they are looking to showcase will be a forest-based one and will be much more darker. The creative director on the developer update didn't want to go into too much detail, but he said it's going to be brutal and intense. Night maps are going to change the gameplay dynamic completely and the overall feeling of the game. I cannot wait to see more of these night maps, as I think that's going to add the ability to really creep up on the enemy and make engagements a lot more close quarters. If we look at what Postscriptum has done with night maps, this will likely indicate the level of darkness we should expect. The different roles within Beyond the Wire. First, an infantry officer. This sounds like the typical squad leader. His role is to get his squad mates to attack points or defend them. The developers mentioned that the infantry officer will be able to give other soldiers temporary abilities. This may be things like a sprint boost or morale boost. I'm interested to see how this looks in game. Riflemen. They will make up the bulk of the army and will have access to the bolt action rifles and will be able to drop supply crates. Medics, they will revive and keep your team healed up. Side note, I wonder if they add body dragging like we have seen in Squad. I thought that was a nice addition. Light machine guns, this role allows you to put heavy amounts of fire down but also be more mobile. Grenadiers, access to rifle grenades. Assault, a more close quarter kit. Sniper will play a pivotal role in neutralising the machine gunners and providing cover for the other soldiers. Artillery gunner, your job will be manning the guns around the map and building defences, so I expect you to be able to build structures like MG positions, perhaps bunkers and sandbags for cover. Heavy machine gunner, you will be posted to one machine gun and your job is to keep defence of that position. You are unable to fire from any other machine gun other than the one you were assigned to. So a lot of roles that have been added to Beyond the Wire, but all seem to be important that give players a unique role to play in winning the match. This game has my interest completely, but I want to mention a suggestion to the marketing team. Now this game, from what I have heard and seen, it looks to be like a mixture of Squad and a really hardcore Battlefield 1. You need to really market this game to Squad fans and Battlefield 1 fans alike. The Squad community has been strong for so many years, still pulling in thousands of players daily for 5+ years. They clearly love the balance of tactical gameplay and fun, so you need to make them aware of all the awesome features and changes you're making with Beyond the Wire. Let them know this isn't just a remake of Squad in World War 1. This is very much its own game and it stands on its own merits. Then to the Battlefield community, they love the atmosphere and how DICE captured the feeling of World War 1. I think both types of players would love to give this game a go. Battlefield 1 players really like the game modes like Breakthrough and how you progress with a narrative. It gave you a cinematic before every match to give you a bit of context. From the sounds of things, the Assault game mode will be very similar. So you really need to sell the idea to those types of players as well. I think this game could be a big success. I think hardcore shooters are getting more popular and people appreciate the ambition and way that you honour that setting so well. Also, if you could get this on the next generation consoles, they would appreciate it big time. So many console players want to see more games like this. We need to get these games enjoyed by more and more players because there are so many players fed up with the current climate of AAA games, with their complete lack of respect for history and how all they care about is milking fans. So all I'm saying is try to get this on as many platforms as you can because there is a demand. In closing, this is a game you need to be looking at and following because it has a lot going for it. I think if done correctly, this could be a big release and a game enjoyed by many for years to come. If you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe, drop a like and click that bell notification so that you don't miss out on an update about this game. I also cover other tactical shooters like Insurgency Sandstorm and Postscriptum. So if that's something you want to watch more of, keep your eyes on this channel. Until next time, have a good one.